Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Let's Jibber Jabber. Name's Ben, and sometimes Dagan, he who knows 1,000 things. Today, we start with talk of dogs that have mastered the art of villainy. Because Brady MC asks, my dog has locked me in a cage. What do I do? Well, first of all, I'm flattered that you use what little battery life you must have to send me that message, instead of contacting animal control. But, moving on. Turns out, dogs don't respond to words like, Hey, what are you doing? Let me out. How dare you? Instead, they're actually reading our facial expressions, our tone of voice, and even chemicals we release when stressed or excited. So, my suggestion is to sound excited and trick your dog into doing what you want. In this case, opening the cage. Here's an example with our dog. Watch as I make her bark with a big handful of delicious nothing.
You want some nothing? Yeah? Speak. Good girl. Here, have some nothing. Have some nothing. Yeah, that's right. You have some nothing.
Works every time. Good luck, Brady. We'll be checking back on him next week. Second question comes from XCD. What was your freshman year like in high school? It was different. I wasn't as outspoken as I became later in high school. I got along with everyone, but I would never start conversations. People would have to be the ones to initiate the conversation, otherwise I wasn't having it. Especially girls. I remember this one poor girl. Her name was Layla, who couldn't have been more obvious about liking me. And I was just clueless. Once people got to know me though, I was actually kind of witty. I think that's why I never really got bullied. I would always try and diffuse a situation before it became one. Like, for example, some bullies would suggest, hey, want a slap box? Knowing full well that they would be inflicting more pain than receiving it. And whenever I'd sense that bully attitude, I would pick something that I thought that person was insecure about, like pimples or bad teeth. I'd ask a question like a friend would. I'll go with bad teeth because I was in terrible need of braces myself. So I'd ask questions like, hey, ever thought of getting braces? Instantly, the would-be bully would stop smiling and start thinking. Then I'd ask, I wonder how much they'd cost, or something along those lines, because the goal wasn't to attack, but to distract. After the interaction, days, weeks, and even months would go by, and I would get an update from my would-be bully about how he'd be getting braces in the summer. Meanwhile, I'm pretty pleased with myself. If any of them are watching this now, congratulations, you punks. It was me who incepted you all those years ago.
It was all me.
If you don't get that movie reference, peep the link below. Whoa, now that I think about it, I may have been a pretty wicked sociopath. Moving on, Danny Frame Fatso asks, what do you think about what's going on in Iraq right now? For those that don't know, there's a militant group called ISIS in Iraq right now, and they're going around threatening Christians and I think other minorities as well to either convert or die. And it is infuriating. Because it's not an isolated incident. This happens all over the world. But to be honest, it doesn't even surprise me anymore. In the book of John, chapter 15, Christ was quoted as saying, they hated me without a cause. They being the Jewish religious rulers at the time. Because they persecuted him without a cause, he warns that they will do the same to us. Good news is that a number of countries have mobilized to provide assistance for those that have been forced to flee their homes. One report said up to 400,000 of them. Can you imagine that? Someone kicking in your door, putting an AK to your head and demanding that you change your belief or get shot. Even if you're an agnostic or an atheist, how do you respond to that? It's just sad that people will do things, horrible things, in the name of God. Regardless of how good or bad things may seem to us though, Danny, I believe the testimony of Scripture when it says that all things work together for good to them that love God. I hope that answers your question. Oh, and guys, if you're wondering why my upload schedule has been so irregular again, it's because I've been working on some promotional videos. That's the kind you submit to other channels, and also dealing with some real-life work. So, bear with me as I go through this busy business time. And I sense that it has already gotten chemical up in here. So, I must bid you all farewell. Until next time, God bless. I've been Dagan and can now only be gone.